Dude, how soothing is Willie Nelson's voice, man?
I have to go see him.
Dude.
I have to see Willie Nelson. There's a few people out there that I got to go see. You know, the Monkees were saying they were doing their last fucking. I missed it at the Greek out here in L.A. And I just wanted to meet Mickey Dolenz and just be like, dude, you were so fucking huge for me, comedy and playing drums. Like he was one of my favorite. Like after watching the Three Stooges, there was the Monkees.
You know who's underrated? The fucking, not underrated, but not talked about enough in my generation. The fucking Beach Boys, dude. The Beach Boys had some bangers, dude.
Oh, yeah. I love that you'll give it up to the Beach Boys, but not the Beatles.
No. I like some Beatles songs, but I don't put them where people.
I love that pause. You literally go, no. Dude, you went in on them one time, and you picked like their stupidest songs. You like,
no, I picked
Yellow Submarine, Bill.
Yeah.
Maxwell's Silver Hammer. It's like, hey, man, we all have a couple of shit jokes we're embarrassed about, you know? That's what you're going with?
I'll tell you who I got to see. I got to see the Foo Fighters, dude. I got to see the Foo Fighters, and I want to see them at Madison Square Garden, dude, and I always miss it. But I love them.
Dave Grohl brings the Josh Adam Myers energy.
I was just going to say, he's the dude. He fucking brings Josh Adam Myers energy to every show when he's whether drums or whether singing. He's an animal.
Yeah, and he also just, the guy, he's a riff monster, dude. He knows what is going to get an arena full of people to lose their fucking minds. That's got to be such a great feeling when you're noodling around and then you just come up with something.
Oh, dude.
You must get the chills or something.
Dude, speaking of that, like one thing I do on Christmas now is, and Stacey will tell you, I'm always good with the gifts. I don't ask her what she wants. I go out there. I don't do the Amazon thing. I go to stores. I buy her stuff. But what I started doing was I started doing an event. I started doing like, you're going to get a concert. So I took her to Ed Sheeran because she loved Ed Sheeran and that kid crushes, right? So I took her to one of Ed Sheeran's football stadium shows and it was at the Lincoln Financial in Philly. So we go down, we get a hotel. The kid is crushed. He comes out alone. He's on stage alone for 2.5 hours, not one other person. And he creates his own music, puts it in a loop, does the whole thing. And then the kid comes out, stops his song and starts talking. And he starts crushing with like stand-up. And my wife's, I'm like, this fucking guy's got, all the women already love him. He's crushing. And then he just awesome. Goes into a hit and the place is going nuts. Then I got her James Taylor tickets last year. So this year I got to find another concert to take her to.
Underrated. Going out and seeing a legend at a casino. Me and my mother-in-law almost went to go see Johnny Mathis up in
that's a good one.
Up in Santa Barbara. I'm like, that guy's still out on tour. I would love to see Johnny Mathis.
That's a good one.
Chances are, because I wear a silly grin the moment you come into view. All these old ladies, like losing their minds.
Oh, dude, I'd go to a Temptation.
I gotta see him. I gotta see Frankie Valli. Dude, Frankie Valli sat next to me on the plane. I was next to him. Let's put that in proper historical perspective. I sat next to him, and my show business ego almost got the better of me there. Yeah, Frankie was sitting next to me. Oh, was I? I was riding in first class before you were born there, Freckles. So I was sitting next to him, dude. Amazing shape. And when the flight ended, he popped up like a fucking 20-year-old. And I'm like, dude, that guy still has it. I got to go see him.
Imagine he popped up. He wanted to get away from you.
Dude, I didn't say one fucking word to him.
Oh, you didn't?
I didn't say, no, I'm not bugging that guy.
Were you sober at the time or were you drinking at the time?
Let's see. I got 3 years this week, November 24th, tomorrow. Wow. I don't remember. I wasn't drinking on that flight though. But even if I was, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have. Well, no.
You give me a couple Tito's and soda. If I'm remember, I was sitting next to the Mets manager at a Knicks game. I got hammered. Started fucking talking to the
dude. I ran into Jonathan Banks. Said, "Oh my god, that was one of the most embarrassing things ever." Me and Verzi had this great fucking run. We go to the Kentucky Derby. We're having a great time, and somebody there gave us
four roses.
Four roses. And we didn't know that you could check the bottle. So we felt bad. We're like, dude, this guy went out. He spent all this money. We got to drink this thing. So we order a couple of somethings, and we get these big fucking Solo cups at the Indianapolis airport, and we start
crushing an open bottle of bourbon in the fucking food court.
Yeah, and we killed half that thing waiting for our flight. Fucking hammered. And I get on the flight. Who's on the flight? Jonathan Banks. And I came walking up. I go, hey, John, I play Kubi on Breaking Bad. And he didn't notice I was hammered at first. And he was calling me Kubi, like, oh, hey, Kubi, nice to meet you. And I was just like, I'll let it go. And then he came up to me afterwards and wanted to talk to me. I just kept looking at him going, you're a sweetheart. You're a sweetheart. And then he got that look on his face, when you're talking to somebody drunk. And I remember like either later on it was after the flight. I just remember coming to just being like, oh my God, I'm never going to get on that show again.
Oh, and that's so funny.
When I ran into him, I talked to him about it. He was laughing. I was like, dude, the last time I talked to you, I was so fucking hammered. And I told him the whole story, and he was cracking up. And he's such a good guy. He acted, I didn't even notice. I was like, dude, you absolutely noticed. You are a sweetheart. You are a funny guy. Dude, I was fucking.
Well, you know what I did?
Hammered.
You went on that plane and you sat next to Jonathan Banks. I was hammered and I went to the bar because my flight was another hour. And dude, I started drinking, talking to this stranger about sports. And then I kept drinking on the plane, dude. And I got fucking obliterated, dude.
Yeah. What's the drunkest you've been on a flight?
I was coming back from years and years ago. I opened for you at the Addison Improv, and I was at the Dallas airport. I left a jacket, I think, and I just got on. I left a hat. I was fucking hammered.
Wait. What about when we toured Canada? We toured Canada, and
the last night.
And
yes.
I had to pour you into that fucking car to make sure you'd make it.
And I started to tell the guy at the lobby that I was an athlete going to Sochi for the Olympics. And he clearly knew that I was drunk. And you had to be like, doing my friends.
Oh, you were the ugly American there. No, we were in that cigar bar with that fucking great crazy guy we met there. Just an awesome guy. I forget his name. He was a fucking great guy, but he was, lunatic, right?
Yeah.
Calgary. They're fucking animals down there, man. Those people fucking drink. They get after it, right? So when we
weren't in a cigar bar, by the way.
We were in a cigar.
We were in a private, but they remember we were in some downstairs, like somebody
started playing cards, or no? We just smoked that night. Cards was in Toronto.
Yeah, we just smoked. The guy had a cowboy hat on, and then we started talking, and then me and you both got hammered. And I remember me and you got into a yelling match because of something that like the Taliban, when they were like doing something online. And I go, they shouldn't. And you go, yeah. And we just started yelling at each other.
And you know what's funny, Paul? And now I don't drink. When was the last time we yelled at each other?
Oh, no. Yeah, no.
It just doesn't happen anymore. Yeah, it was all me, just fucking misdirected and hammered. But I just remembered you started hiccuping in the cigar bar. And I was like, oh, Paul's going over the side. This isn't good. And you had a fucking early flight.
Yeah.
And you were just like, I just want to lay down here. Can I just lay down here? I'm like, Paul, we got to go up to the room. We got to get your bags, and I'll bring you down here. Because you had the whole night was like you had like a 4 a.m. pickup or something.
Yeah.
So it's like, no, it's only 10. I could say, get him right home, get like 5 hours, I'll be good. Then it's like 11. And then all of a sudden you're just like, I'll sleep on the plane. I'm just going to sleep on the plane. You just kept fucking drinking. And once you started hiccuping, I was like, all right.
Yeah. That's a telltale. Hiccups. Yeah. If I start hiccuping.
And it's also a bad thing to go through customs shit-faced.
Yeah.
I always say you have to pass through do you have to pass through Canadian customs and then American customs when you leave? Yeah, they stamp you when you leave. I always forget how that works.
Yeah, but dude, I remember like holding my breath because I probably smelled. I remember like going through it and just being, yeah, dude, there's nothing worse. Is there anything worse than being on an airplane drunk and dude, 5 o'clock in the morning, feeling like shit? It's brutal.